Fed up of wardrobes, driven to distraction and drowning with doom boxes? Tired of living in chaos? Welcome to Decluttering Untangled, how to declutter when you're overwhelmed, ADHD or autistic. I'm going to help you uncover the secrets to decluttering no matter what hurdles you face. You'll discover how to declutter, de-stress and transform your world. I'm Heather Tingle, reformed hoarder, neurodivergent declutter queen and your guide through the maze of mess. Let's get untangled. Hello Untanglers and welcome to another episode of Decluttering Untangled with me, your host Heather Tingle. Now today's episode is a short one and it is another back to basics episode, and this is all about chunking. Now it's not about anything to do with weight, it's not about chunky Kit Kats. This is less of a decluttering strategy, I think, and more of a maintenance strategy and system, but you can absolutely use it for decluttering. And obviously the way I tell you to micro declutter by category is a type of chunking in itself. So today I want to talk more about it from a tidying point of view and how it can help if you struggle with executive function issues like I do, as I think it's a really helpful tool to use. So all chunking is breaking down a big overwhelming task into smaller chunks to make it easier to do. Now, something like that, sometimes it can feel really simple as a concept and be like, yes, Heather, I understand that if you've got a big thing to do, you need to make it into smaller things to do it. But often, even if it was a really simple concept, but figuring it out and translating it into everyday life can sometimes be a little bit hard. So today's episode, I'm going to talk you through some ways I chunk and why it's useful so that you can see if any of them will work for you. So for me, chunking makes something less overwhelming, both mentally, but also visually as well. Like I almost think it was like a pre-sort or a pre-organized before I crack on. I think it's my autistic brain likes it because it makes me feel that I've organized before I've started an overwhelming task. So probably similarly to you need to tidy your desk before you feel like you can get some work done, chunking kind of feels like that little bit of organization beforehand, but not too big, not too overwhelming, just very quick, like a quick pre-organize before you get started. The main way I use it is putting away clothes. So if I was still living in clutter, would definitely still have a wardrobe. I really, really still don't like putting away clothes. Now, it's so much easier for me now because I put things in drawers rather than hanging. I'm not that keen on hanging stuff. So I have mainly drawers. I don't mind folding, but still putting clothes away has got a sticking point for me. I don't know what it is, but there is something that I still feel it's not natural for me. So I use it to chunk. I find chunking so much easier for this. So I start off with a huge pile of laundry to put away. And what I then do is I pile them all on my bed and then I pile them according to type of item. So I have a big overwhelming pile, for example, on the side of the bed, and then I will create smaller piles dotted around. So socks, underwear, tops, things that need hanging, jeans, for example. And once they're piled by type, I find it so much overwhelming, so less overwhelming, I should say. I just find it, I look at the piles and go, oh, like that's hardly anything. Like that's not much at all. But it was when it was one big overwhelming jumble, I found it really overwhelming. So I find then I can put items away by that little pile, and it just happens really. Like I say to myself every time, I'm just going to put my socks away, and before I know it, I've put the whole lot away. Like it's easy. I also use it when doing the dishes. So, for example, I will put glasses at the front, then the cups, then the plates, then the bowls, then cutlery, then the big utensils, and then the saucepans at last. Like by being able, I know it sounds so autistic to put things line things up by type, but visually I can see how far along the task that I'm doing, and it just makes it easier for me. I don't know what it is. It just makes it simpler. You can use it with so many tasks like putting away toys or dealing with paperwork. just ensure that the piles aren't too big a category and they aren't too small either. Because if it's too big, you're just creating more overwhelm. If they're too small, then what you're really doing, if you're chunking into micro categories, then all you're doing is wasting time. So unlike decluttering, when micro categories is absolutely the way forward, do not do the same with chunking, not to tidy anyway, because you're going to overwhelm yourself with a million little piles. So chunking helps because it means you can visually see the progress as you go. You see how far along you are to get to the end. It's really helpful. You can have a natural stopping point after each chunk. So if you need a break, you can stop. Or if you have to break off for any reason, you can see where you are when you go back to it. The thing I like is you can give yourself a reward after each chunk. So I'll have if I've got a pack of Skittles, for example, I will eat a Skittle at the end of each chunk. Yay, why not? It also gives you a lower pressure starting point than going straight into the task. And I think that is so vitally important, because if you're putting a task off, if you can make that task look smaller and less chaotic, it's always going to be a good thing when you're putting it off, because it's more likely you're going to get started. And chunking is a way of getting started that feels less pressure and less demand, I suppose. Maybe that's why I love it so much. So there you go. That is all about chunking. So I would love to know what tasks you naturally chunk. Do let me know. Give me some examples. So until next time, be kind to yourself. Remember you're not alone, and keep untangling. Thanks for joining me for today's episode of Decluttering Untangled. If you found anything that I've said today helpful, please do me a favour. Hit that subscribe button or leave me a review. It's like receiving a virtual high five that keeps me going and lets me know that I'm helping real people out there and I'm making a difference. Please remember, you're not alone in this. I'm building a community of fellow untanglers over on Facebook. Just visit the show notes for the link to my free decluttering community. So until next time, remember, you're not alone, you're not lazy, you can untangle your life.